Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Great to be back. Little vacation last week.
How was your trip off to the...
No, it's really awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was awesome. Seriously, awesome.
Cooler weather.
It was great. Oh, God. Cooler is an understatement. It was low to mid 60s at the most every day. Except I think one day it didn't get out of the 50s. Oh, so awesome.
You brought a little bit of that back with you to Texas.
So awesome. Yeah, well, when we got back, it was 50 when we were on our way to the airport. Take the flight to, I don't know, 3.5 hours and get out of the plane. And it's like you stepped into a stinking furnace. You're in a walk-in furnace. And it was, 98, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miserable.
Oh, it is miserable coming
miserable.
back. Yeah. I woke up high atop the Colorado mountains, and it was 46 degrees, I think, or 44 degrees. I forgot. Anyway, got here, it was 105.
Yeah, that's not
was
good.
Awesome. Yeah, but
it's not good. It makes you want to leave Texas, frankly.
It sure as hell does.
It does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hate summer that much, that here, at least, because it's unbearable.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbearable.
Oh, I can't.
And there are places in the world where you don't have to put up with it.
I will say, though, that you did successfully locate Sasquatch. We have photographic evidence.
Yeah,
again.
so you saw that, huh?
Well, a lot of people were sending in pictures. We have one more that came in. There you are.
Yeah, that's a good selfie right there. I had a little selfie stick. I'm holding that in my right hand.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Seattle t-shirt, which I didn't even know I had.
Y'all were
That's
getting
great.
along a lot better in that picture than the one, because last week we had, you obviously took the car that you load up all the bumper stickers with, and you had the Sasquatch on top of the roof, but looks like you set him up for that. There you are driving back south.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
There we are.
Because, see, you got tired of clubbing baby seals. So, anyway.
Stupid.
No, it's not. It's awesome.
That's great. Vita Bodine sent those?
Vita Bodine sent those. And I think it was Rowdy
you.
Introvert on the
really
Harry
funny.
and the Hendersons. Anyway, welcome back.
Thank you.
You've missed a world on fire just
it.
as much as when you were.
I know it. But it's nice to take a week off of the world on fire, and just not even look at it, which I didn't. But I met some great listeners up there. It's weird when you're on a remote trail that leads to a beautiful waterfall, and we're heading back out on the trail, back to our car, and a family is walking in, and they're like, "Pat Gray!"
Oh, no.
Yes, really fun. But they were there from Connecticut. And so it was really nice to meet them.
That's cool.
Really fun.
Yeah, see, when you have such a recognizable voice as you do, that's bound to happen. Yeah, in fact, I met somebody who met you at a restaurant a long time ago. I'm telling you, man, that voice just stands out,
I suppose. But it's so sad to see America's great cities just going down the tube, just being flushed down the freaking toilet. Seattle's the latest. I mean, you've got San Francisco, Los Angeles, going down the tubes, and everybody knows it. Now we have Seattle that's they're letting it go to hell. They've got tent cities that have popped up all over Seattle. Homeless people in these tent cities that live downtown, that live under freeway overpasses. We drove right past one of these tent cities on the way to the airport. It's just, a huge tent city underneath an overpass that stretches, I don't know, quarter mile. All homeless people completely jam-packed next to each other in maybe 3 or 4 rows of them. It's unbelievable. It looks like one of those, poverty commercials about third world nations from the 1970s with Sally Struthers. For less than the cost of the humpback whale and butter sauce I just ate, for a midday snack, you can help these people buy a new tent. I don't want to make light of it. It is atrocious. It's really, really awful.
And you're right. It's one American city after another.
And all Democrat strongholds, and they're just flushing people down the drain. I don't I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know how people continue to put up with it. But if you live in Seattle and you're looking around, and this is not normal. We were just there, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It wasn't like that. It wasn't this bad. It was probably starting back then, but it wasn't to this point. I mean, it is unbelievable. It's unreal. It's really sad. I mean, you could shed a few tears for America because, seriously, Seattle is a beautiful city, or at least once was. San Francisco was a beautiful city. Los Angeles was a fantastic place to live at one time. Not anymore. Not anymore. Just really horrific. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Look at the eerie similarities between, speaking of things going to hell in a handbasket. Actually, we don't even have the handbasket. We're just going straight to hell.
Yeah, you're not allowed to carry a handbasket in cities like Seattle anymore.
No. Somebody's going to beat you for it and leave you on the side of the road dead and take your handbasket on your way to hell. So you might as well just leave the handbasket at home. But here's some similarities between the S&P 500 in 2008 compared with 2022. Take a look at this graph and see if you can see the differences. It's almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same.
Oh, my goodness.
That should be chilling because, and it's headed in a worse direction than 2008 right now. I mean,
that was before,
almost exact.
QE 4000 or whatever we're on now.
Right.
Oh,
right.
My goodness.
Whew, people aren't happy about it. Look at the reception Nancy Pelosi got at an event in New York City. This is interesting. These are, I think, mostly young people, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't talk about it. As Speaker of the House, I am here to thank you.
Wow.
No, thank you.
Wow, they don't like her.
And at a global citizens event.
Global citizens. That's so great.
So in other words, if there's a tailor-made audience for a far-left liberal,
right, it should be that.
Right, it's a global citizens event in New York City, and young people, and they're like, no, boo.
Now, I hope it's not because she's not socialist enough for them. Mm-hmm. Although, it could be that. They want AOC there or whatever. They want some young socialist there instead of some old drunken socialist like Nancy Pelosi. Democrats aren't even sold on Joe Biden for 2024, as you probably have seen in poll after poll, survey after survey. They don't want this guy to run again. Their preference for the nomination, Joe Biden, 35%. Someone else, 56%. Just anybody else. Doesn't matter who.
Yeah, there's not even a name.
Somebody, anybody, just a generic person, just any Democrat will do. Just get him out of here. Republicans' preference for the nomination. Trump, 47%. Someone else, 46%. So Trump wins the day there.
You can scratch off someone else there and put DeSantis.
You can. Yes, absolutely. Mike Pence thinks you could put Mike Pence there. No.
Oh, that's cute.
No, that's not going to work. 2024 vote preference? Come on now. What? What is this? 46% Biden. Oh, no, 48% Biden, 46% Trump. Yikes. That can't be right. Can it? That can't be right.
ABC News.
Holy cow.
Oh.
So his approval rating now, the job approval right now, is 38%. This is according to ABC News, Washington Post. Okay, ABC News, Washington Post. He's got a 39% approval rating, 53% disapprove. That's better than I saw last week because last week they had him. Okay, so this is among registered voters. It's 46 approve. Oh, Democrats.
So just in general, I think is 39%. Oh, okay. The other two columns are congressional vote.
Okay.
Preference. So among registered voters over there, it's,
So Republicans lead 47-46 among registered voters.
yeah, for Congress,
And among likely voters for Congress, even better than that, 51-46.
Okay, so
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
it is tightening though
It is, yeah.
for Congress,
Yeah, it is.
inexplicably.
I don't get it.
I think people here
Don't get it.
Oh, a victory for Biden with the stupid Build Back Better passage that Joe Manchin
Yeah.
sold out America on.
Mm-hmm.
I think people just hear, oh, it's a victory for Biden.
Oh, Biden's on a roll right now.
I guess we'll stick
Is
with
he?
that. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Ridiculous.
I really have no idea what's going on there.
On the other hand, how could you not vote for this guy? You know, and for Democrats, for that matter. Joe Biden apparently dropped a brand new word on us over the weekend. I love it.
They're taking credit for the new bridges and those bones that are collapsing.
Wait,
So those bridges in the Buffalo concussion. What?
He's
I'm
out
sorry,
there
wait.
taking credit for the new bridges and those bones that are collapsing. The new bridges and those bones that are collapsing.
Bulges,
Buns and corruption.
Kaplasin. I think he was trying to say something's collapsing. I don't know.
The
Who's it collapsing?
hell is he talking about? Oh, he's so bad.
Yeah.
He is so bad.
Look at this. I found this poll too. There. Check out that poll, huh?
68% of Americans felt safer 2 years ago with Trump in office.
There's your tent cities.
Man. Most Americans felt safer 2 years ago when former President Trump was in office, according to a Convention of States Action Trafalgar Group survey. I always want to know who did the survey, and I'm glad it's these conglomerates of people that nobody's at. Well, Convention of States, we've heard of that, but Trafalgar Group survey, okay. Anyway, the survey asked, do you feel safe in America today, as safe as you did 2 years ago?
In the middle of the pandemic.
Most, 67.9%, so 68% essentially, said they do not feel as safe in America today as they did 2 years ago. Another 27% said they do. Who are these people? And 5%, of course. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know if you feel safe or not. Safer than you did 2 years ago. You don't know. How can you know? Who does?
I know.
Who does know how you felt 2 years ago?
So many people getting out of the cities, man. So many.
Well,
It's
yeah, they're all
constant.
run down. It's not America anymore.
Yeah, and you can still work for your same company as the pandemic taught us. You
Right,
can work from anywhere. You have an internet connection.
Yep. In a lot of businesses, you can't in everyone, but and so a lot of these employers are wanting their employees to come back, and the employees don't want to, and it's hard to blame them. When they've been dealing without worrying about the commute every day, going to and from. They don't have to, they don't have to worry about the hassle of the office people they don't like.
Yeah,
their
right?
fellow workers.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody breathing down your neck at your house. I mean, that's probably really nice. A lot of employers are saying though, well, okay, if you don't have to commute, you don't have to make as much
gas
money.
price doesn't help the cause either. Trying to get
that's
people
true.
back in.
That's for sure.
So.
And gas prices have been all over the place. They'll go up 18 cents one day. They'll come down a few cents the next.
It's ridiculous.
Weird.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. So I don't even know what is the national average. Do we have that, Rob? Rob usually snags the national gas. There, look, he did it again.
372.
$3.72 a gallon. Way too high. Again, we're talking $1.87 on election day in 2020. And I think when Trump left office, it was something like $2.30, $2.36 a gallon. $3.72. That's still well over $1 a gallon more. And he's taking credit for bringing the gas prices down. I mean, if gas prices were normal, filling up my tank would be about $40 or $50. It's still $85. At the highest, though, it was $120. But that's not acceptable. $85 to fill up your tank. That's not sustainable, and it's not acceptable.
Yeah, your cheapest averages right now. Mississippi coming in at 307.
Cheaper than Texas?
Yeah, we're 312. Remember we had that 40-cent spike that I just never understood.
Yeah.
And other places have reported similar spikes that just don't make sense, like you said.
My wife found a place, I don't know, right before vacation for $286, which was, now you're getting closer. Still too high, but it's closer.
I have calculated $1.80 as the maximum price I'm willing to pay and not bitch.
$1.80 is pretty good.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Weird formula there. For
I would
Keith.
be fine.
California checking in at the highest, $5.79.
I don't know how you live in California. Honestly,
don't either.
I don't know how you do it.
How?
I mean, you're paying $1 million for 1,000 square feet, and you're paying over $5 a gallon for gas. How do you do it?
Well, pretty soon you won't even be able to buy a gas-powered vehicle in California, and of course, our overly qualified transportation secretary Pete Buttigieg saying that should be a model for the nation.
Well, he painted some sidewalks in South Bend, Indiana, when he was mayor. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Did you know that
man's immensely qualified?
He met his husband while riding a train.
So romantic.
And
it is beautiful.
And again,
what a beautiful story that is.
The qualifications.
What a beautiful, beautiful story. So,
make him transportation secretary.
Didn't they adopted? I think too, didn't they? Wonderful couple.
And then he took time off.
For like 6 months or something
to chest feed while boats were backed up in the Pacific Ocean, if you'll recall.
I do recall that. Yeah. So congratulations, Mr. Buttigieg. And okay. So also we had this. I guess was there a presentation for Elton John? Was he winning an award?
No. See,
or is this just some fundraiser?
Now, what happens in the last days of the Weimar Republic, you just find reasons to make it look like it's better than it really is. Mm-hmm. And so you've been
throwing a party.
Throwing parties. You'll recall we had James Taylor throw a party, right?
Right.
Oh, my gosh. The Atlanta Braves are at the White House today. Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so over the weekend, Elton John was he was the entertainment for some other little shindig there.
Okay.
And Joe Biden said something that
very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS.
Wait, to help AIDS? No. Okay, then he corrected himself. They're not trying to help AIDS, which is good. That's good. They're going to fight AIDS.
Fight it. And
it's all Elton John's fault. So he's pissed about it.
What?
So you're pissed at Elton John because he pushed you into paying $6 billion to fight AIDS?
Yeah, a lot of people are also just taking issue with the fact that he's blaming a gay man for AIDS-related issues.
Of course.
I mean, this guy is such a...
He's so awful. But he's going to get away with that. You see that on CNN yet? CNN showing that? No. No, they're not, because they're fine with it. As long as it's Joe Biden doing it. Can you imagine if Trump said that?
Right.
If he's got his arm around Elton John and he says it's all his fault, this gay man, it's all his fault we're spending $6 billion for AIDS research.
What an awkward moment for...
And then beyond that, what did George W. Bush spend in the fight on AIDS? I would love to see that figure. Because it's more than $6 billion, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. And yet he was a horrible human being. He was terrible with LGBTQIA2 plus issues.
Yeah, Bush sent $15 billion to Africa.
Yeah, to Africa!
To fight AIDS. Never mind what he did here at home. And that's one thing that if you actually catch liberals in a moment of honesty, they actually, privately, for the most part.
Well, Bono does. Bono openly admits
Thank you.
it.
Yes.
Big time.
Yes, Bush helped with AIDS. Yes.
Bono is honest about what George W. Bush did with the AIDS situation. He's completely honest on that. And he gives him praise for that. And that pisses off the left. But so what? It's the truth. Now you got Joe Biden grudgingly giving $6 billion. Of course, it's not him giving it. Spending our money on it.
Yeah, and I'm just reading this White House press release about the money going to fight HIV/AIDS, and in it talks about for the past 20 years, how much money the U.S. has invested. Again, doesn't say former President George Bush started the effort. Blah blah blah. No, it's just in the past 20 years, the White House is set aside money for blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Jeez. And speaking of Biden, he had another really weird thing the other day where he was giving a speech and in the middle of it starts addressing somebody in the audience that is not featured or shown. I don't think the camera ever focused on him. But he says something very strange to a female in the audience.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
Oh, that's real funny. That's
this
funny.
woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway.
Whoa.
Don't sniff him. She was 12. I was 30. What happened?
How did you get a lot done?
How did the two of you
They go back a
get
long way.
together when she was 12 and you were 30? And they laugh at that like it's a sexual joke.
I don't know what they're...
She was 12, I was 30. What are you
Honestly,
talking about?
you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a
really bad
court reporter's transcript from the trial of a pedophile.
It sure does.
She was 12. I was 30.
But anyway.
But
anyway, what?
And so obviously whoever it is he's
Weird.
addressing, and maybe somebody found out, I didn't follow up, but whoever it was didn't go out of her way to meet with him before the speech. He catches her. I mean, that creepy
You got to say hi to
pedo
me.
stare where he just
Yep.
stops and he's like,
Yep.
you got to say hi to me. Oh.
I don't know what it is. If he thinks he's so eloquent or if he thinks he's so charming that he can get away with this. Well, and he does because of the media. But he thinks he can make these weird non sequitur comments and everybody's just going to laugh and giggle about it. No, okay, that's great. When she was 12 and you were 30. But anyway, wait, no, let's not go in a different direction. Tell us what you're talking about there. What was happening when she was 12 and you were 30? We should maybe follow up on that. Maybe Peter Doocy will at the White House press conference today.
I mean, just...
What was Joe Biden talking about to that young woman who was 12 when he met her when he was 30 years old?
She was just really good at helping to organize his campaign from her 6th grade classroom.
Yeah, what?
I mean, seriously, this guy is...
What is it?
Grotesque.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the absolute worst. Creepy and bizarre.
Yeah.
Wow. That video, by the way, got 1.6 million views in like an hour because people were so like, what is that? What are you doing again? Monica Crowley said, as dementia progresses, patients lose more of their filter and tend to blurt out the truth. Yeah. I'm afraid that's true.
She was 12. I was 30.
Yeah. Huh. Well, we could talk about adult inappropriateness too when you jam Tara Reid up against a wall and did what you did to her, but nobody ever wants to look into that at all. Don't worry about that.
It's not like Joe Biden's daughter wrote in a diary
that he took showers with her, inappropriate showers with her.
Sure.
And that she believes she was probably abused.
But it's not like that.
But it's not. No, don't worry about that. Nothing to do with Joe Biden. Well, except it was his daughter and it was him in the shower with her. So I guess we're not supposed to worry about that at all. He also continues to lie about really important issues that people just don't understand. I mean, how many of us are really well versed in gun mechanics? You know, I still get confused, even though I have guns, at a magazine or a clip, you know, because everybody jumps on top of you when you get it wrong. So I try to avoid even mentioning it.
Oh, wow.
So I can't keep it straight. I don't know. Which is the magazine? The magazine is what you...
Hold on. You gotta see this. I didn't know we were going to do this today.
Yeah.
But you bringing this up. Pay very, very, very close attention to what is happening in Washington, D.C. with the banning of certain weapons coming up. Because your access to defense,
weapons, guns,
January 1st could change.
It's going to be depleted
drastically
if we don't wake up and start informing our Congress people.
If
that we are not going to take it, we're not going to stand for it.
If you have the means, you need to seriously consider over the next 3 months of accessing weapons that will no longer possibly be available if Democrats get their way in D.C. in the most asinine ways. These people are making laws that have no clue whatsoever. And Thomas Massey, somebody sent this to me. You got to see this clip. And keep in mind, these are the people who are sponsoring these bills that will eliminate a lot of your ability to defend yourself. Watch this.
I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in opposition to the amendment. What this stabilizing brace, which is depicted here, when attached here, it turns this weapon into an automatic weapon. It becomes a bump stock. And so it will allow that to essentially be fired like an automatic weapon. That's the danger. So I have to very strongly oppose the amendment. And I yield back.
Wait, what?
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
I seek recognition.
What purpose does the gentleman from
Somebody's
Kentucky seek recognition?
Just strike
challenge
the
that
last
a bit.
word.
Gentleman is recognized.
The Democrats are so zealous in their rush to ban everything related to guns and every gun that exists that I'm afraid Mr. Cicilline has his gun features mixed up. He just described the arm brace, which is used by people who have a handicap to help fire a pistol.
Unreal.
He just described it as a bump stock.
Wow.
It's neither a stock nor a bump stock. And I think it's important that if you're going to ban these things, that you actually understand what you're banning.
Yeah, and they do not.
That is the picture that he showed. Everybody needs to know is not a bump stock. It's an arm brace for firing a pistol from the wrist.
Wow.
And it's not made to increase the rate of fire of the firearm. It's not made to simulate automatic fire.
Thank you, Thomas Massey.
It's made to stabilize the grip of a pistol, and that's all it does. And if anybody else wants me to yield time to them, I will.
No, we want the weapon to slip out of the hands of the handicapped. That's why we can't have the stabilizer. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say, no, we don't want you yielding your time. We want you to take all of it.
Oh, that was so great.
And he does that time and time again.
Yeah.
And Chip Roy, sitting right next to him, is also very good with firearm discussions.
Indeed.
I'm telling you, though, man.
So great. But they're coming for your guns.
Pay attention.
Oh, they're coming for them.
They will use their last few months of power to eliminate rights.
And Biden is hell-bent to remove the AR-15, and he makes that perfectly clear. And he lies about it almost every day. He keeps claiming that AR-15s fire bullets at a velocity that is 5 times higher than any other gun that you can buy or steal, whatever you do with your guns. And he repeated that claim Friday to the NEA, the teachers union, and they, of course, are going to just lap that up. I mean, many rifles and even some handguns fire bullets at a higher velocity than AR-15s. AR-15s fire a velocity of 2,700 to 3,100 feet per second. The speed of the bullet, though, is not 5 times that of others. So in some cases, it's twice as fast. But so what? The other gun will kill you just as easily as the AR-15. Just asinine. They don't know what they're talking about. He's wrong. He's been proven wrong. People are talking about him being wrong. And yet, he just keeps saying, I am not here. It's that big a lie. And they just repeat it over and over and over until you think, yeah, he's not there. Wow. Wish I could see him, but I can't. He's invisible.
You know, it's passed the House. Got to pick off one Republican. Senate yet to vote. This thing is not put to rest yet, especially after a march they had this weekend.
Pat Pat Gray. Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
So how'd we do the last 2 weeks on Moron Trivia?
Well,
it's our record right now.
Well, Miami rallied against Baltimore. That was incredible. And so that
we had
saved
Baltimore
us
in that?
in week 2. No, we had Miami.
Oh.
And
so Miami did win.
We went to 2-0.
Okay.
And then this week, we're not going to count this one because you weren't here.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Philadelphia at Washington. And
seems reasonable.
Washington was the picked winner. Philadelphia won 24-2. So we're gonna
24-2.
We're gonna say since Pat wasn't here, that's unofficial.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't go into the record
it's an
books.
exhibition Moron Trivia.
Thank you. And the commissioner, Jeff Fisher, will get in here and probably argue.
Oh, of course he will. I'm the commissioner who made that decision.
Yeah,
I did because my name is.
I see that
on the wall.
Yeah. New England at Green Bay is this week's game.
Okay. By the way, the Packers beat Tampa Bay yesterday.
Boy, that was an ugly game.
Yeah. I thought it would be. For some reason, it almost always is when they play Tampa Bay.
Neither team had healthy receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a problem. As BYU realized when they played Oregon without their top 2 receivers and 2 of their top defensive players. Now they're down 10 starters already with injuries. 10. Sucks. Although they beat Wyoming over the weekend.
So what are you ranked?
19th.
19th?
Yep. What's Nebraska ranked?
I didn't do this. I didn't say anything. I didn't say a dang thing. They
had a bye week, right?
I loved it. Oh, I really did love it.
Because they didn't lose.
I just loved every minute of Saturday. Now, Missouri had a chance to upset Auburn in overtime.
It's really sad.
That was so freaking painful. The guy gets the ball. So if
they're in overtime,
it's in overtime. Auburn's up 3. Missouri has to score.
They score. They score a touchdown. They win.
They win. They walk off and they hand it to the running back who runs 25 yards untouched, gets right to the goal line, and fumbles it through the back of the end zone. It was literally 2 inches from crossing the line, and they falconed it, man.
Why?
I texted Jeffy.
Why?
Like, bro. And he goes, I know.
I would be. Can you imagine how pissed you'd be if you were the head coach there? Oh, my gosh. Ugh. BYU had, in Provo, they were at home against Wyoming, but it was an officiating crew of Mountain West, Big 12, and WAC officials. Okay. And man, were they whack. They were really bad. I don't like whining about officiating because it's kind of lame and nobody believes you. But this was the worst I've ever seen in my life. We got a touchdown from one of our wide receivers, and he does his little 3-step dance in the end zone, not in front of anybody, clear in the back by his own fans. Get a 15-yard penalty that turns into a 45-yard penalty for various reasons I'm not going to get into. Anyway, why do you have to do these things and cost your team valuable yards when, as the coach said afterwards, Kalani Sitake said these guys know better than that. He wasn't blaming the officials. He was blaming his guys. They know better than that. Act like you've been there. And like you plan to frequently return. And if you did that, you'd avoid all this stuff. And that's what you would probably tell the guy from Missouri. Don't be stretching out the ball at the... Why?
Well,
stretch out the ball at the end of the play if you want to. When you're in the back of the end zone, drop it.
No, he had a guy closing in on him. He was trying to get away. He was trying to avoid...
But he couldn't have just crossed the goal line without extending it like that?
I don't know.
All right. I didn't see it, so what do I know? Maybe it was perfectly legit.
It wasn't anything.
Perfectly reasonable to stretch out.
Hey, look at that. Right-wing politics making a resurgence in Europe. You know it's true, man. Italy now. Mm-hmm. And you better watch out. Sweden is getting that way, too, with their parliament. They're tired of the unfettered immigration just destroying Sweden with random bombings. I read this long article over the weekend about how the immigration over the last, recent, 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. And they're just setting off bombs. They're setting off bombs all over Sweden. Jeez. Have you heard of this anywhere?
No.
And so the people are reacting now, and they're voting in these populists who, see if this sounds familiar, who are, representing the natives who are like, what in the world is happening to our country? And so you've got a reaction now at the polls, one country after another in Europe. Anyway, I just saw the headline there. I thought I would point that out because Europe is changing, and it's going to it's going to get even more ridiculous with the heating costs this winter.
Yeah, but in Europe,
they're going to change over governments.
I know, but in Europe, they do things better than we do here. The problem with the right-wing thing in Europe is that it's on their European scale. And right-wing, it doesn't mean right-wing in America. It's a little bit different. But they are sick of the immigration situation where people are just flooding into their countries, especially those Nordic countries, because they all have free college. You come there from anywhere else, they're going to send you through college for free.
Yeah, that's one of
on the taxpayer dime.
Right. That's one of the things this article talked about was how you have the perfect storm of offering everything to anyone that comes there. And yet they have no interest in assimilating or being a part of your nation. Everything's a separatist, no-go zones.
So now they're dealing with all kinds of stuff
in some areas
they've never had to deal with before. So good luck with that, And then we're called the racists here because we have a couple problems every once in a while. Out of 330 million people that have been jammed together and have all kinds of diverse cultures and languages and habits, I think it's a pretty amazing place.
Yeah, and we screen the people we allow in our country. We don't just leave our borders wide open and let anybody who wants to just walk across.
Do
whatever they want to do.
I wish we did, but no.
I thought,
No, it's not really closely monitored. No.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's a real problem. Did you read the story that the Border Patrol caught a dozen people on the terror watch list?
Oh, goody.
Last month alone. A dozen in a month. So how many sneaked through and didn't get caught?
Right.
That's a chilling question. But they stopped a dozen individuals whose names are on the FBI's terrorist screening database in August, bringing the total for the fiscal year to a number that's triple the previous 5 years combined, as agents deal with a historic migrant surge at the border.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're doing a great job in the Biden administration. As you know, they got it. The border, if I'm not mistaken...
It's on lockdown.
The border...
on lockdown.
The border...
Yeah.
If I'm... Again, I
if
could
you're not
be mistaken.
If you're not mistaken.
The border is secure. The border is secure.
Thank you, Alejandro. Appreciate that.
Welcome back.
Oh, man.
This is what it's like off the air, by the way, y'all. Just sit here during a commercial break.
The border. Yeah, okay. It's secure. We got it. So airtight that only a dozen terrorists per month can get through.
Boy, if they had any humanity, I'm talking about our government, they would lock that border down for multiple reasons.
Yes.
Fentanyl being one of them, and what it's doing to American cities and our youth.
How about some of these immigrants dying in hot semi-truck trailers?
Precisely.
They just found another 110 and fortunately got to them before they were dead.
Well, that's good because I was reading another thing this weekend that said that Texas morgues along the border, the border are completely full. There's no empty spaces in the morgues because of immigrants coming across and dying in mass, like you said there.
Unbelievable.
In the heat and these coyotes that bring them across and don't care. It's
even though it's officially fall, it's still dang hot here, really hot. And although I think it's cooling off today.
Yeah, the cold front came through last night.
Cold front. Ooh, burr. Yeah, it was I don't know, what, 68 or something?
It was 69 degrees this
good.
morning.
Okay, so it's better than 90 at that time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about Rough Greens. If you're a dog owner, you want the best for your dog. You want them to be frisky and happy and enjoy running around like they did when they were puppies. Well, Rough Greens can help get them there. You're going to see some amazing changes in your dog as your dog eats the Rough Greens, which is a dog food supplement you sprinkle on top of whatever dry kibble stuff you feed them. Doesn't really matter, because if it's dry kibble dog food, all the nutrients have been burned out in the sterilization process so that the bag can last, well, not the bag, but the contents inside. But it needs, they really want to protect that bag. They might need to reuse it someday. But it has to stay on the store shelves 2 to 3 years. And so you lose everything that's good for them. Well, Rough Greens puts it back. The vitamins and minerals, the probiotics and antioxidants. So most dogs, mine certainly does, go crazy for this stuff. She loves it. And most dogs I've heard of do. There are some dogs who maybe don't, and Rough Greens is aware of that, and so they don't want you to waste your money. They're willing to send you a free sample bag for your dog to try out for a day or two. All you have to pay is shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, R-U-F-F Greens, roughgreens.com, or 833-783-3364.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Some tweets here. We were talking a few minutes ago about the beautiful cities in America that Democrats have run into the ground. Jimmy James, 1883, tweets, another beautiful city destroyed by the communists is Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes.
Was there last week for a wedding, and every time I go, it gets worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Drug addicts, homeless, graffiti, art, and just random garbage all over. So you've been there too, Keith?
Yeah,
recently?
Spent some time, recent years. Yeah, that's a place that... Yeah, he's absolutely right. And I think you could say that for a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
These places that used to have like this, this oddball flair to it, like in Asheville or in Austin, are now just wastelands. It's
sad.
It's the destruction of a nation.
Captain Sham, I keep asking myself, how can the puppet masters allow an election when they know they'll lose even a small grip on power? Evan Reynolds 1 tweets, if I were Biden, I'd have been more likely to blame Elton John for that calamity he just put out with Britney Spears rather than the $6 billion on AIDS funding.
That was a weak song.
Yeah, what's the name of that thing? It was number one for quite a while.
I don't know. What is
several weeks. And I listened to it, and you just think, really? Ick.
Name of the song is it Hold Me Closer?
Oh, yeah, because it's Tiny Dancer, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. Just not good.
Not good at all. And Britney's voice is just auto-tuned or something. It's just the whole thing, the whole time. I can see you doing that for a measure or so, but the whole song, it just makes me think, well, okay, she can't sing. And they couldn't get it right. So they're like, hey, let's just auto-tune your voice. Okay.
The first song I remember being auto-tuned was late 90s, and it was some Cher did a song, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was it Life After Love?
I believe.
Or was it
something. Was it I Believe or something? I do remember the... Yeah.
But that was my first experience with it, and it's kind of gotten out of control since then.
All right, Jeffy's not here to go, okay, you can't have a space program if you can't launch when there's a cloud.
We had a fun fact last week when you weren't here. Some astronaut chimed in why we don't fly through clouds, because there was a mission at some point, Apollo 12, 10, 9er, I don't know, that got struck by lightning twice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but bro, we're talking about little puff clouds going by.
Yeah.
What's the risk in that? But yeah.
I can see a lightning storm you not launching.
Sure.
I can see that. But short of that, like you said, if it's just wispy clouds, launch the rocket.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and what the astronaut was saying is that it fried the controls. Okay. But again, a puff cloud going over Florida isn't going to knock your shuttle out of the sky.
No, and they've got a lot worse than that maybe coming.
Yeah.
So NASA waved off the next Artemis 1 launch. So is it just off now? We're just not going to do it?
At what point do we just say, we're done here?
We're not going to go to the moon.
I mean, at this point, the technology that has put that craft together is going to be outdated by the time there's a window available.
So they met Saturday morning. NASA's Artemis team decided to forego the September 27th launch. So that would have been tomorrow.
Yeah.
Would have been tomorrow.
Because you got Ian out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Because we had Fiona rip through, we go right along the coast there. Now it's hitting Canada. Just did some damage up there. You got out. I know that you went to the Pacific Northwest, but what you failed to mention is how you went out of your way to go to Newfoundland for the baby club stealing. As you normally, every trip you take, you go through there.
Yes.
You got out just
I thought
in time.
that went without saying.
Yeah.
Everybody knew I was going to club baby seals.
So now we got Ian, who's, down below Cuba and is going to hit Tampa area and go up.
So this would be the first hurricane or tropical storm to make landfall, I believe, in America this year.
Yeah, I think so.
But right now it's Tropical Storm Ian. So it's not even a hurricane. But here, I mean, it's scrapped another launch. So it doesn't say, does it?
It's coming? Yeah, it's a hurricane now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, this calls it a tropical storm. Constraints and the laws fly through any. So it doesn't say when it will reschedule, if it will. Does
2097, I think, is the next window that we have available.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have the technology where it can fly through a puffy cloud by then. That'd be great.
But y'all pay attention in Florida to the weather, because get yourselves a hurricane coming.
Yeah. Take the necessary precautions. Get out of town. What do they say? Shelter in place for wind. Flee flooding, I believe. I believe that's the advice you normally get. 888-900-3393. Also Pat Unleashed on Twitter. More coming up in just a minute.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here. This from Evan Reynolds 1. I'm not an expert on guns either, Pat. However, I do know that they can blow your lung right out of your body. Well, yes. There's that.
That's right.
Isn't it Biden that told us about that?
That's right.
A freaky occurrence.
If they go ahead and ban these assault weapons, there's not going to be a sunset this time.
No.
That's going to be a permanent thing. So keep an eye.
However, on the bright side, you won't have big piles of lungs all over the place.
That's true.
Just waiting to be burned by health officials.
And if you do want access to those weapons, you could always join the IRS.
Yeah.
Or the Department of Agriculture.
Right.
Or something like that.
Post office?
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a
really?
few minutes here. Yeah, the post office.
But private citizens, no.
From Holy Smokes, you're right about these guys with the celebrations in football. I watched the Bills versus Dolphins yesterday. It was like a dance-off after every single play. The one guy fair caught a punt and even had a little flex.
What?
Put a tent on that circus. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, normal tackles and stops and a catch, and they've got to go into some kind of Broadway musical. I hate it when the whole team runs down to the end zone, in the back of the end zone, and they've got this pre-choreographed routine that they do.
I
don't.
You don't like that?
It. I don't.
I do miss the days of Barry Sanders just handing the ball to the official.
Act like you've been there and like you plan to return frequently. It's good advice. We are all tweets. My prediction is Europe will continue to shift more right, and America will continue to move left.
Yeah. I mean, you've got that new prime minister. Liz Truss, she's got some conservative ideas on getting energy as Europe faces the insanities of having depended on Russia for too long.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, you've got, farmers it's every country after every country over there rebelling against the Great Reset.
Yeah.
And their own Green New Deal.
And against these draconian laws about climate change,
Yeah.
the green situation. Stop. Just let's take a look. Just step back and look at what you're doing to this planet. You're not helping it. You're doing quite the opposite. And they just continue to do bizarre. Did you see the guy who lit his arm on fire?
Oh,
at the Rafael Nadal final.
Yeah, that's when I've been having computer issues this morning.
I believe we have some footage of that.
Do we? Yeah. Okay. Wow, he's regretting that.
Not on the court.
Yeah.
Lights himself on fire. Well, his arm. Okay, that's not good for you.
I'd like to point out.
And he wasn't going to leave the court either.
Look how skinny his legs are. That is.
Wow, yeah.
That's a thin human being right there. There's a vegan if I've ever seen one. Anyway.
Show the beginning of that again, because did he accidentally do it?
I don't know. He doesn't. He regrets it immediately. He's shaking his arm.
Hey, that hurts. I didn't think fire would hurt.
Yeah. Look at this guy's going to take his coat off. I thought he was going to put it on the kid's arm at first, but anyway.
No. So there you go. That's how stupid people are.
I would want them to carry me away because that arm's got to be hurting at that point.
I would think so. He still looked like he wanted to stay there and protest more.
He was on drugs.
Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. Regarding Donald Trump, Liz Cheney said over the weekend some amazing. Here's what she said.
So I'm going to ask you, will you remain a Republican regardless of what happens in the next election?
I'm going to make sure Donald Trump, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's not the nominee. And if he is the nominee, I won't be a Republican.
Oh, you're no longer going to be a Republican? Oh, we're crushed.
Like that's supposed to hurt anybody's feelings. Oh, no. What are we going to do without Liz Cheney? We lost her? Yeah, we lost her. Oh, no. Well, okay, let's move on. I mean, would anybody care? That's why she lost by 40 points as an incumbent. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her.
Yeah, and not that anyone thought that it was a fair and impartial investigation for January 6th that the committee is doing, which, by the way, they reconvene again on Wednesday. She's like, I'm not going to be a Republican if Donald Trump's the nominee. Oh, wow, we can really trust your judgment on serving on the January 6th commission if you've already made up your mind about the man. Anyway, get out of D.C. You've got 3 months, Liz.
Oh, she's so bad. She's
Why
one
was
of
she
the
in
worst
Texas?
Republicans.
Do we know what she was at there?
I didn't realize. When was it, last week?
That's where that was.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, over the weekend or something. It's like
no idea.
Go back. Just get out. Wyoming doesn't want her, so she has to tour the country, I guess.
Nobody does. And we'll see who the nominee is going to be for the Democrats, who they put up against Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or whatever. But one of them, I think the person most likely to win the nomination, probably Gavin Newsom. He's the biggest loudmouth in the bunch right now. And he said over the weekend that he worries more about Tucker Carlson and Ron DeSantis than Donald Trump. Really? Okay, so first of all, you're worried about a Fox News host with zero legislative clout? He's more worrisome than Donald Trump? As for Ron DeSantis, this is something you're going to hear over and over again. Oh, he's more extreme than Donald Trump. Because as time goes on, they'll try to demonize Ron DeSantis. They've already demonized to much of America Donald Trump, so now they got to start that process with Ron DeSantis and tell you that in 2024 he's too extreme for America. He just can't do the job. He's Donald Trump on steroids. We're going to hear that kind of stuff all the time.
And as they continue, they can't help themselves. So as they continue to try to bring down Donald Trump and make sure they do everything in their power to keep him from getting back into the White House in 2024, they are inadvertently raising the profile of Ron DeSantis. So now, like you said, they've got to go in and be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all don't fall in love with DeSantis. We got to pull him down, too.
Yep. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. There's no question of that.
Yeah, and like you said about Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden did the 60 Minutes thing last weekend, and he does not sound certain that he's going to be allowed to run again.
Oh, do you still have that clip? I didn't see that last week.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
See if you have it.
It was in Monday's
Rob,
stack.
no big deal, but if you have it, let me know.
Well, Rob just informed me that if we stand by,
all right,
he'll find it in just a moment. Yeah,
stand by.
Yeah, you got to see
for news.
Sir, are you committed to running again, or are there certain conditions that have to be right?
Look, if I were to say to you, I'm running again, all of a sudden a whole range of things come into play that I have requirements I have to change and move and do.
In terms of election laws?
In terms of election laws. And it's much too early to make that kind of decision.
I'm
a great respecter of fate. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing my job. I'm going to do that job. And within the time frame that makes sense after this next election cycle here, going into next year, make a judgment of what to do.
You
if your
say
pills
that
continue
it's
to
much
work.
too early to make that decision. I take it the decision has not been made in your own head.
Look, my intention, as I said to begin with, is that I would run again. But it's just an intention. But is it a firm decision that I run again? That remains to be seen.
No, because I haven't gotten permission from my handlers that I'm going to be allowed to run again. And what they told me is that once we get our butts kicked in the fall, you're out, old man.
Anytime a tough question and the answer starts with, look, they're about to say nothing. They're about to mislead or lie. That's what he knows whether he wants to run or not. And the party is telling him not to run. So he might as well have just said, no, I'm not going to run again. But then he's a lame duck president. So, yeah, you can't win right now. And there are campaign finance laws that, make it tough. But what incumbent that has only been there 2 years doesn't say, oh, yeah, I'm running for reelection. I don't care what the campaign finance regulations are. Everybody declares their intention to run at about this time. So it's not unreasonable to say, okay, come on. Have you made the decision? You're going to be 81 years old. That's ridiculous. You should not be running for re-election.
Are you on Trump running? You still sold that he's definitely running?
I think he's running, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you?
I don't know. I go back and forth on that one.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But every time he mentions it, it sounds like his intention is that he's going to run. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'd love to see... I would love to see the matchup between him and Biden again. That would be fun because he'll destroy Biden. And to see these polls that still have Biden in the lead in a potential matchup, I can't believe it. Of course, you can't selectively believe Biden's approval rating is 12 and not believe that Biden is going to beat Donald Trump, I guess. If you believe the polls, you believe the polls. If you don't, you don't. So we'll see.
Write that down, y'all.
That was a profound one.
It sure was. In fact, I'm doing it right now.
Dude, it just is what it is. It is what it is. And if you think Liz Cheney is bad, take a peek at this guy. NBC guest Jason Johnson.
What they have heard is that migrants are invading their home, that transgender children are in the Olympics, and that Joe Biden is giving out free cell phones to black people. They're not hearing this information. This is a cult. It's not a political party. It's a dime store front for a terrorist organization. I've been saying that for years. And so the electoral impact is more on the people who need to be motivated, not by the people who are dedicated to a cult.
Dime store front for terrorist organizations? Is that what he said?
Yep. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Okay, well, and that he's talking about the Republican Party.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about the Democrat Party?
No, he wasn't.
And their affection for Antifa and BLM?
Right.
Okay.
And letting prisoners go free and freeing terrorists. They're for all those things. Close Gitmo, bring them here, put them in jail, let them out. It's just, this is the party that is so extreme. Need I say it again? Fill in the blank. The Democrat Party is so extreme that... no, you're not going to go for it?
They're so extreme?
They're so extreme. The Democrats are so extreme.
How extreme are they?
That the Communist
Communist Party
didn't have to run a candidate in 2020. They endorsed the Democrat.
So true. Let the Democrats spend the money.
Don't tell me about the extremism in the Republican Party. Shut up. Oh, it's agonizing. I can't. I just can't.
Man, he sucks.
Oh, my gosh.
Dr. Jason Johnson.
Where do they find these people?
Professional School of Global Journalism and Communication at Morgan State University.
Oh, there's a high-profile gig.
That's where you find it.
All right. Read it again. What's his credential?
I'm a professor at the School of Global Journalism and Communication at Morgan State University.
Anytime you deal with a global anything, you know that's trouble.
That's a tip-off.
That's trouble. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust, because what a challenging time we live in. In some areas, it's a buyer's market again. In some, it's still a seller's market. But either way, you need a really good realtor who can get you through this process, because it's really stressful. Really, really stressful. What should you do to clean up the house? Do you need to make repairs? Do you need to repaint? These are the kinds of things your realtor can help you get through. And these are the best agents in whatever location you live. You want somebody you can really count on, somebody you have a lot in common with. These are all fans of the show. That's one of the vetting parameters that we use with Real Estate Agents I Trust. They're going to see you through the selling process or the buying process, or both if you're relocating. Same goes for anytime, anywhere you're located. So go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Pat Gray is here.
Welcome. Thanks for being here with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We mentioned that we're going to talk a little bit about the about this situation in I'm trying to think. Is it North Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
Where a man killed an 18-year-old named Kaler Ellingson, killed him because of his political viewpoints.
Yep.
Damn white supremacists. God, these Trumpites, these MAGA Republicans. Does that sound familiar? I wonder who's been ramping people up, making them froth at the mouth with rage. We all know Joe Biden has been the leader on this, on getting people hacked off at MAGA Republicans to the point where, and now somebody has killed an 18-year-old kid because he supported Trump. My gosh. If this were turned around, you know what the outcry would be. Everybody, if this was Donald Trump, who'd been firing up people, and then a Trump supporter shot and killed an 18-year-old leftist, what would they be saying on CNN and MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, New York Times? Everybody would be screaming at the top of their lungs. Nobody is even talking about this.
Wall to wall. In fact, I did a news search, I think it was just yesterday, just to see who's talking about this. And there you go. There's your account. NBC News and MSNBC wrote no stories about it, about Kaler Ellingson. ABC News has 2 stories, CBS 1 story, CNN 1 story. And that was when you just go and do a search.
Yeah, like the end.
That's what you find there.
Say his name.
Say his name. There it is. No results when you search MSNBC for Kaler Ellingson.
Wow. So it happened in McHenry, North Dakota. 41-year-old man ran down this 18-year-old kid over a political dispute, killing him. He was reportedly drunk at the time of the attack. To make things more bizarre, the alleged perpetrator called police on himself and admitted he killed him. And admitted that he killed him because of his political viewpoints. Huh.
Yeah. Kaler's last moments on Earth was running from this guy and calling his mom.
Jeez. Oh, my God.
As he was running away on foot.
Oh, so tragic. Really, really sad. And again, where's the media on this? They're not interested unless it has to do with white supremacy. Unless they can call you a domestic terrorist, and they're certainly not going to call this guy one. And, the guy's just out of his head. He's just, he's completely insane, and his neighbors have been saying that to anybody who would listen, anybody who's even interested in the story. They're like, this guy should have been in an asylum somewhere. But do you think that would matter if it was somebody on the right doing this to somebody on the left? No. They wouldn't talk about his mental health at all. It would be the political viewpoint here. And that Trump ramped him up into a lathering rage, and so then he went out and killed somebody. They don't really care about any human life. It doesn't matter what race, doesn't matter the creed. Democrats don't care. All they care about is their political agenda. That's it. How can I further my agenda and give myself more power? How can I get into a position of power where I can destroy another major city? Because that's what they're doing. Also, speaking of this one-sidedness, 25, and I actually read it might have been as high as 30 FBI agents descended on this poor pro-life activist and author, raided his home with guns drawn because he pushed a protester at an abortion clinic. He pushed the man. Oh, no. Oh, no. So it's a crime now? And the FBI gets involved when you push somebody? I can't. Mark Houck, a Catholic author, lecturer, radio host, co-founder of the King's Men, a club for men to unite and build up other men in the mold of leader, protector, and provider through education, formation, healing, and action. Well, last year, he allegedly went to Sidewalk Council at the Planned Parenthood Elizabeth Blackwell Health Center in Philadelphia, brought his eldest son with him, who was 12 at the time, an abortion clinic volunteer named Bruce Love. How appropriate. And Houck allegedly got into an altercation. Apparently, Houck, or Bruce Love, the abortion supporter, goes there and hassles Houck pretty much on a regular basis, calls him the homosexual F word, talks to his son about his dad is a queer, all of these kinds of things, just saying hateful, nasty things. And apparently he'd had enough, so he pushed him to the ground. Oh, no. Oh, the humanity. Was it a bloodbath? Did he scrape his buttocks? I don't know. But for the FBI to even bother with this is unbelievable to me. Mm-hmm. Sending 30 armed agents to the guy's house?
Yeah. Yeah, this guy is,
wow.
I think he's out there every week. Every week, Mark Houck goes out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your domestic terrorist. And you got the thank you.
Look at him. You can just tell. Look at him. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
On the far left there, as if I had to point that out.
Thank you. Yep. Could face 11 years in jail. How many FBI agents have gone after people that have attacked these pro-life pregnancy centers in the last 6 months since the Roe v. Wade stuff?
My count is 0.
Well, that sucks because there's over 100 instances that they could focus their attention on. But instead, they're going after a guy who was defending himself and his son from this guy's physical assault. Okay. Getting right in his face like that, I'm going to shove you out of my face too.
Gosh,
yelling at me.
The FBI is losing credibility like crazy.
They're done. You got to get rid of them. You got to just
unreal.
dissolve it right now. We've been saying this over and over and over again. What credibility does that organization have? That is the top of my list for 3-letter departments that need to go. Need to go.
He faces, as you mentioned, 11 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and fines of up to $350,000. Again, his crime? He pushed somebody, and that person fell to the ground, all the way to the ground.
This is the Biden Gestapo.
Unreal.
This is the Biden Gestapo going after those who supported Trump, who questioned the 2020 election, who dared walk on the Capitol grounds on January 6th, and who dare to stick up for themselves in front of a pro-life building when a guy
and their
gets in their
12-year-old
face.
son.
When they get in your face. No, you can't. You're not allowed to in Biden's America. This is dangerous ground we're on right now.
Here's what Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Philadelphia division, Jacqueline McGuire, said. Put simply, violence is never the answer. Violating the FACE Act by committing a physical assault is a serious crime for which the FBI will work to hold offenders accountable, unquote. Oof. Yeah, pushed him down. What an assault. What a serious crime. Wow. Okay, the guy we just talked about who killed the 18-year-old kid in North Dakota, he was released on bond. Yeah. $50,000 is all he had to put up.
Yep.
$50,000. He murdered an 18-year-old.
Yes.
This guy faces 11 years in prison, a $350,000 fine, because he pushed somebody and they fell over. Oh, no. Oh, the humanity. Wow, are we screwed up right now as a civilization? It's chilling. It's chilling, really. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Thanks for being with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let's go to Carrie in Pennsylvania. Hey, Carrie, you're on the Blaze.
Hi. I just wanted to say that we got to work in this weekend because Fetterman, he always has the hoodie and he always has it rolled up to show off the prison tats. He has all those tattoos he has.
Yeah, John Fetterman is all tatted up. It's and then the bald head. It's a good look. It's a good look when you're running for Senate.
It is not. But we got real curious about the one. It's just a blank line. Mm-hmm. And what we found out is it's a cover-up to a tattoo that was under it. Well, of course, we can't do that. So we got to looking, and from everything we could find, the tat underneath that says, "I will make you hurt." Which I don't want my son to do either.
Well, that's a nice promise from a potential U.S. senator. And I think he'll back it up if he wins. All right. Thanks, Carrie.
Exactly.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Pennsylvanians, please don't let this happen. You cannot allow John Fetterman to become the U.S. senator from Pennsylvania. You can't. It just, please.
And take the politics out of it, man. Mm-hmm. It's just, you can't put someone in office that's
messed up like he is.
Mentally gone.
I mean, we don't have any care anymore for a mentally compromised candidate. We'll still elect them. Perfectly fine. You could not know your own name, and I don't think it would matter to some Democrats. I don't think they care. Yeah, it's just not Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump wasn't running for Senate anywhere anyway. So, well, yeah, but he endorses Dr. Oz. Yeah, so what? Dr. Oz can at least put a sentence together. Dr. Oz can comprehend things right now because he didn't just have strokes. I feel bad for the guy. But that doesn't mean I'm okay with him serving in the U.S. Senate. His health is definitely relevant here. Definitely relevant. And they just keep saying, you're attacking a man's health. That is just wrong. Is it? No, not when you're running for Senate, for U.S. Senate. You've got to talk about his capabilities or lack thereof. We'll see. Oof. I haven't seen the latest poll, but the last I saw a couple of weeks ago was Oz was narrowing the gap a little bit. I think it was 4 or 5 points, wasn't it?
Let's see where we're at here. Oz versus Fetterman. Okay, so... yeah, it was +5, but then another one is... Okay, so that is the latest. The spread on average is 4.2.
Oh, the average 4.2.
So here are your last 5 polls in the past month exactly. Fetterman +4, +5, +5, +2, +5 equals an average of 4.2.
All right.
But that's still not good because, when do you start voting? Because some of these places are going to start voting real soon.
And they're going to start voting before they even have the debate. And wasn't it... I think it's October 19th or something, 26th, where they're scheduled to debate one time.
October 25th.
So Fetterman wanted closed captioning for him, or I don't know, something, because he can't process things. then why are you running for the U.S. Senate? Well, he'll probably heal more and get better. Well, I don't think you elect a guy on probablys. I really don't.
That's interesting. The last day to register in Pennsylvania is October 24th. They moved. Remember, it was going to be October 19th, like you mentioned. They moved to the 25th. Is it so that if people see the debate and go, man, this guy's terrible, I got to go and register to vote? Too late.
Too late. Yeah, you can't. Oh, nice. That is amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Also, there's an asteroid. New York Times write up on this asteroid that we're trying to slam an explosive device into it. See if we can move it
that
off
sounds
its course.
familiar.
Yeah. So the New York Times writes, an asteroid minding its own business, not too far from Earth, is about to get knocked about by a visitor from our planet. They're testing a planet, safety measure. Like, okay, if this was headed directly, this particular asteroid isn't, but if it were headed for the planet, could we knock it out of its path and send it somewhere else? It's kind of interesting. So it's supposed to collide today. NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test spacecraft, or DART, is set to collide with Dimorphos, a small asteroid that is the moon of a larger space rock, Didymus. While these two near-Earth objects pose no threat to our world, NASA launched DART last year to test a technique that could one day be used for planetary defense. So, when is the collision, and how can I watch? It's supposed to hit Dimorphos at 14,000 miles per hour at 7:14 Eastern time. Oh, okay, so that's about a half an hour from now, as we speak. Eastern, yeah.
Then.
Oh no, you're right. Oh, okay, then never mind.
Oh, well, we don't care now.
NASA television was going to broadcast it. They probably have it on a video clip. You could probably check out YouTube or someplace. The NASA's media channel will begin broadcasting, and it already began. Why is it crashing? Just to see if they can do the job, to see if they can move something out of our path. What will happen? The mission's target is about 500 feet in diameter and orbits a larger half-mile wide asteroid. It's a distance of about half a mile separating the two.
And this is tonight, by the way, 7:14 p.m.
Oh, tonight. Okay, so all of these things are still to come.
Okay.
DART will essentially be a self-driving, suicidal spacecraft guiding itself to its demise, with people at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Maryland largely just spectators. Okay. Its cameras will not spot Dimorphos as a separate dot until about an hour before the crash. Then it will just adjust its flight path. Interesting. It's really hard to hit a little object in space, but we're going to do it, according to NASA. If DART and Dimorphos connect as planned, the small asteroid's orbit will get closer to the larger object. The magnitude of the change will depend on the structure and composition of Dimorphos, which we don't know because it's millions of miles away from us. If Dimorphos is solid and DART carves only a small crater, then the two will change. Then the change will follow the basics of a Physics 101 problem. Two objects colliding and sticking together. Because DART is moving in the direction opposite to Dimorphos, it will sap some of the asteroid's angular momentum, causing it to move closer to the bigger asteroid and speed up.
I thought you were going to say, and I could totally see us doing this, I thought you were going to say moving it closer to Earth and then
and slamming directly into us.
You know what? This is the opening scene for a movie right here. Like, oh no, we were just screwing around, and then, oh, our bad. It's now headed toward us. You got 5 minutes. Man.
That's an interesting effort, though.
Yeah, it's fun.
We should know whether or not this works. Can we divert an asteroid that's on a collision course with Earth? I don't know, but we're about to find out today. So that'll be kind of cool. 7:15 Eastern tonight, if you want to check that out on NASA's TV broadcast. That would be fun to watch. Let me tell you about Omega XL. If you've got pain, joint pain especially, inflammation, all of that, this is the best thing you can take because it's not a drug. It's not something you're going to become addicted to or dependent upon. It's all natural. You just take this thing and it has SPM rejuvenation qualities. SPMs are what keeps your joints healthy and pain-free, but we produce less of them as we get older. And so those joints start to inflame and become painful. That's where Omega XL comes in and restores SPMs, helps rejuvenate your joints and your muscles so you can move better, like when you were younger. You don't feel like you're 100 years old when you're getting out of bed in the morning. Visit OmegaXL.com, OmegaXL.com/Pat, or you can call 800-844-4888 or OmegaXL.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
How about these tech platforms that are trying to silence homosexuals who have a different point of view than they do? Wow, these are people eating their own once again. Homosexuals who oppose, and we've talked about this a lot, it's only the radicals who are trying to indoctrinate our children. And homosexuals who oppose that, the sexualization of children, are facing a new round of tech platform purges, one facilitated by a Harvard law instructor who's also trying to shut down a conservative author right now. And they're doing this not just in the U.S., but worldwide. But there's a group called Gays Against Groomers, and they just lost their PayPal and Venmo accounts within minutes of each other. The group opposes the trend of indoctrinating, sexualizing, and medicalizing children under the guise of LGBTQIA2+, and sells merchandise with messages such as "No child is born with the wrong body" and "What's on your hard drive?" Man.
Yeah. And I think this video here, I forgot what this was, like a city council meeting or something like this. I love the shirt that he's wearing, but I think this is the guy who runs that account. And it is fascinating to see the agenda of big tech, like you say there. Every time Gays Against Groomers post something they don't like, then they ban them for however long, down. Whatever. They have to go to an alternate account and so on and so forth. But he was speaking, and I thought this was a really powerful couple of minutes here at a city council meeting. Love the shirt. Groom dogs, not kids.
That's great.
Good evening. My name is Mario Presents, and I'm here as a representative from Gays Against Groomers Coalition with over 250,000 followers across social media, and as the uncle of 2 students in your district. It has come to our attention that the district intends to teach transgenderism to children under the age of 10 without parental consent. If I were to teach your child about my sexuality without your consent or involvement, I'd be arrested. But when the school district does it, it's education.
Yep.
Districts are teaching transgenderism when they should be teaching science, math, and language. Yep. Instead, teachers are hiding student pronouns from their parents under the guise of gender affirmation. Can you imagine the uproar if schools were evangelizing or baptizing children without parental consent? Isn't that sort of what you're doing? You don't tuck these children in at night. You don't teach them to stand up to bullies. You don't pay their medical bills. And you certainly don't hold their hands in the hospital. These parents do. Simple truths based in science need to be upheld for our society to flourish. The gross indoctrination we're seeing is creating a lifetime of medication and hormones because you can't simply pause puberty. Men cannot become women, and sex chromosomes are encoded into the fabric of our DNA. Simply affirming a teenager's gender is akin to affirming anorexia. Both are body dysmorphic disorders, yet we don't teach the starving teenagers how to binge and purge or affirm that they are indeed overweight. However, school districts, including yours, seem to have no issue secretly teaching girls that they can be boys because they feel uncomfortable in their bodies. A grown adult woman can't get a hysterectomy without extensive medical forms and doctor's visits. But Dr. Saphir over the hill in Sherman Oaks is willing to do top and bottom surgery, sterilizing children for life. Parents must be a part of the education process when teaching sexuality to students, and it definitely doesn't need to happen under the age of 10 years old.
He got it in. Yes. Nice. My gosh, that was great.
Yep. It's a great account to follow because, I mean, you always look for common ground for people that you may have differences on. Big differences. But, oh, my gosh, the common ground is so much more important. And Gays Against Groomers is an awesome follow on Twitter.
And they're fighting the good fight, and we need them. We need, because they won't listen to us. We're just bigots or homophobes or transphobes. If we're saying it, it's a little bit different when they're saying it and they're in that community. Gays Against Groomers. That's fantastic, and we've seen several of these people who are just rank and file in the LGBTQ category. But they understand that the sexualization of children is unacceptable. Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah, and one thing that the last couple of years has taught us more than anything is that there are no longer protected groups. For example, women's athletics. It doesn't matter. We have an agenda. Homosexuals like this guy here, it doesn't matter. We have an agenda. It's always going to be the agenda of the radicals over protection of groups.
Sure is.
And that is true to form now because his group is
under
completely
fire,
shut down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they aren't towing the party line.
How dare they? How dare they not toe that line? How dare you have a differing point of view? We're trying to be inclusive. Well, not of you, but of everybody who shares our viewpoint. So incredible. Also, did we talk about the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare admitting that they bought porn literacy materials from health equity charity ETR to be given to elementary and high school students?
I'm not familiar with this story.
We can promote a shame-free educational space where we can let young people know it's okay if you're curious. It's okay if they've watched porn, and it's okay if they have thought about porn. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Speaking of indoctrinating our children and just poisoning them with garbage, a person being curious about sex or porn does not make him or her terrible. Well, right, but we should still ask them to avoid it. She said wanting to know about porn is a natural human experience. Is it? She went on to say that kids should be told not wanting to watch porn is also fine. She added there should be no judgment or shame for not being curious.
Oh my! This is Idaho.
Yeah,
this is
Idaho,
a crazy far left state.
Idaho.
This isn't happening in like red states or places where you expect common sense.
Where there's a lot of religious people.
Right.
Nah, right.
Don't have to worry about this.
According to one teacher, critical thinking skills are the largest component of porn literacy. It's the ability for young people to analyze and ask questions about the media they're dealing with. This is great that we have a group that's trying to addict our children to porn for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. They say that an addiction to pornography is the most difficult addiction to break, more so than heroin or smoking. Do they want to teach porn literacy because they believe watching porn, by extension, sex work is inherently bad and want to stop young people from accepting it? That's unfortunately not going to lead to good conversations. The Libs of TikTok creator revealed in June Twitter employees had been trying to ban this account. The fact that I was noticing and drawing attention to how widespread this trend really is seemed to trigger the left, according to Libs of TikTok creator. Big accounts on Twitter started calling for my suspension while labeling me a domestic terrorist.
Oh, there we go.
A domestic terrorist because she wants to keep porn out of the hands of children and not teach it in school.
Yeah, because remember, we're not trying to protect anyone. That's not it. We're not trying to protect women in athletics, like I just mentioned. We're not trying to protect the homosexual community, like gays against groomers.
Right.
We're here to protect an agenda. And what is that agenda? It is to destroy America. And how do you destroy America most effectively? You go after the children. If what you're doing doesn't help in that cause of destroying children, then we're going after you. If you dare stand in the way of destroying children right now, you're the target. It's unbelievable where we are as a nation.
It is because, as we've said multiple times, it used to be that we all agreed on leaving the children alone. Okay, that was a no-brainer. We could all say, okay, it's our children. Let them be kids, okay? You don't have to get into this stuff with them. They don't have to know about it right now. We don't need to inspire that kind of curiosity in our children to get them hooked on porn in elementary school. Come on. How is it we disagree on this, too? It is so bad. I mean, they're trying to normalize absolutely everything. Pornography, pedophilia, anything goes with these extremists on the left. Whew. Just crazy. And we're not going to be able to stop it unless we all stand together and say, okay, no, this is enough. You are not coming for my children. I know you sang about it a few months ago and you tried to laugh it off, but it's not funny. Okay? This little sing-song thing that they did with the homosexuals in the little boxes and singing, we're coming
San Francisco Gay Men's Choir, I think it is. Sure.
We're coming for your children. Wow. These radicals have to be stopped. They just have to. This movement is sick. It's twisted. It's evil. And it has to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when we thought, because I remember Glenn saying for the longest time, look, conservatives and liberals can come together and say,
yeah, we can say a few things that we agree on. Right?
The Constitution.
Yes, for instance.
Right? Let's just go out. Let's just say, hey, look, we agree
on the Bill of Rights.
Right. Can we not do that with children? Is that not
and
a
we
possibility?
cannot apparently do that with our children. Not anymore. Not anymore. Children are fair game now. And if you say anything about it, you're a horrible, despicable person who is just afraid of, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. Shut up.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be, hey, if you say this, then we'll label you that. We're just not going to let you say it. We're going to shut down your accounts, your ability to talk to the masses. We'll just cut it off at the source.
And that's not fascistic
at all. No,
we're the fascists because we want to be able to speak. So we're the fascist when you're desperately trying to shut down any opposition at all. Pretty amazing. And yet, here we are, as they're coming for our children.
How many years do you think we got left as a country? What are you at now?
It depends on if we stand up, if we wake up. It depends.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
It depends.
But according to AOC, we have until 2030, so I guess we've got 8 years.
Oh,
7.5.
Get a lot done in 8 years.
Yeah.
We're fine.
For sure, that's fine. We've had a good run, right? So why shouldn't it all come crashing down in our laps right now?
Just hate it. It happened on my generation's watch.
I know.
That's what stinks.
All right, let's end on this fun note with this baby in the womb who may hate green vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have the side-by-side picture of the two babies? One has been fed...
I think it was carrots or something.
Carrots,
I don't know.
yes.
Yeah.
The one on the right fed carrots. The one on the left, kale.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, the mother apparently
right.
Ate carrots on one
when
side.
the kale comes down the chute.
It looks like the kale is not agreeing with that baby.
Get it out of here. Oh, look at that. Not happy
positive,
at all.
Proof positive right there. Kale sucks.
This is the Blaze Radio Network.